sense.
When we talk about these issues, Pope Francis spoke about climate change, immigration, the acceptance of LGBTQ members of the church, famously saying, in part, "Who am I to judge?" That is a partial quote, I should note. How much does the College of Cardinals care about continuity on these issues?
The interesting thing is that Francis kind of left a lot of things in the oven that won't be done baking for years and even maybe decades after he's gone. So continuity, you can control some of it, and other parts of it's like, the avalanche coming down the mountain. Like you're not going to stop it. Um, they might go for a difference in approach. Like they might say like, well, Francis was, maybe a little fast and loose with some of his approach. Like they could go with someone who's, uh, a little more formal in his approach to his theology, but um, who just and thinks that this is still a program worth pursuing. Um, they'll probably pick someone who's a baby boomer, and that'll just bring an entirely different generational sensibility of how he perceives the world, what he sees as indifferent, and just takes for granted. And some of that would probably play in, uh, almost like, I don't want to say automatically, but just kind of second nature to a new pope. Whereas for Francis, it was very intentional to say, like, "Oh, we need to make out, greater, we need greater pastoral care for the LGBTQ community or whatever it is." Like, so yeah, continuity is tricky, and every pope brings something new to the table.
That's interesting. I have a few follow up questions there, but I'll start with the age. You mentioned you think it could be a baby boomer pope, which means that if it is a baby boomer pope, we could have a papacy that goes 20 plus years. Is that something that the College of Cardinals wants, or do they prefer shorter tenures?
It's tricky. I mean, they elected a 78-year-old after the 26-year pontificate of John Paul II. Um, and then he, resigns. Benedict XVI resigns 8 years later. He says he's too old and frail. And they say, okay, we'll elect a new guy, Pope Francis, who's 76. But, they opted for another short, uh, comparably short time. It's 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 very tricky to pin down. People are living longer. Do you elect somebody who's 70 and still get a 25-year pontificate? John Paul was 58 when they elected him. Um, it's that double-edged sword of is he going to live forever, or is he young and vital enough to really, take charge and do the job? So I say baby boomer, with the understanding that, the oldest boomers aren't even eligible to vote in the conclave. But that uh, but we're going to see a generational shift for that very reason, nonetheless.